There's a different.
You see how I'm just sitting here and I'm sweating?
Yeah, it's the light.
Like
The light, I'm sweating too.
getting like
Let me turn it a little bit for you guys.
No, it's
No,
fine.
Sure, it's not
cool.
me talking about you
I
and
don't
your
know.
nervous
No,
system.
I think it's got to do with I'm getting so big.
Yeah, you're radiating.
Like
You need to
It's
take a
getting hard
pancake
to
break,
breathe.
yeah?
I am starting to get hungry. I am starting to think about it's almost time to eat again. But we can do a few more of these. It's rare that we have, this time in such a beautiful studio.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have too many questions. I don't think we're gonna get through all of these there, but
Because we're long-winded in our answers.
no, well, like I have like 40 plus. There's tons of them.
Throw some out.
Let's see if I can find some more interesting ones. Okay, here's one that'll stir some shit. This is from Frontline ADC. Ask Devon why PAL is trembling in front of the WAL athletes.
Man, PAL. Okay, so first off, let me say that I love all arm wrestling promotions, and the PAL has done such a fantastic job. But when you learn deeply about any subject, you start to reveal truths that are consistent across all things. And what I have found to be true. Oh, hold
Is that you?
thought.
What an amateur.
Oh, wait a
Okay,
second.
take this call.
We gotta take this one. I'll go
Who
on
is it?
speaker. The great Marvin Cohen. What blesses. How are you doing, buddy?
Standing, thank you. So the mission is to get this package to Dubai by Friday afternoon, and you know the time difference. So if you are available tomorrow for a Zoom call, and you're on the same, are you on the same timeline? I'm in Naples, Florida now, East Coast.
Yes.
EST.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you do something at 10 o'clock in the morning?
Let's do it.
Okay, so it'll be you, Michael, myself, and Salim El Mazri.
Perfect.
And Salim is the one who arranged the money for the Pacquiao fight overseas.
I love it. Hey, Marvin.
Yeah.
Hey, Marvin. I have one thing that I got to tell you right now. Right now, I'm on a podcast. And I've got you on speaker.
Hi, Marvin. It's Jodi and Matt.
But everybody loves you. So I'm like, I gotta put Marvin on speaker. So let me know if we need to beep. Let me know if we need to beep anything out, okay? And we can go back and do some beeping.
Right, 100%. So the group in Dubai is waiting for your input, which we will review tomorrow morning. We're trying to attempt to establish a format of regional and territorial events around the world, literally, starting with Eastern European countries, coming back to the United States, and then winding up at a free agent country that has not had a prior event, like Monaco. I'm sure you're familiar with that. In France.
I love you, Marvin. Just send me the Zoom link and I'll talk to you at 10.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That's the guy right there. When you talk about
influences on
when you talk about influences in arm wrestling, that's the winner. Marvin Cohen. That's over the top, man.
That's the guy who organized the over the top.
That's over the
tournament
top.
For which the movie was based on.
And so many other big
cetera.
things.
Behind the scenes, always.
Marvin is not afraid to call the home run every time. I've never seen a guy be able to convince people of anything like Marvin Cohen. Yeah.
I think he and I should team up for my next production.
I think we need to tell him about the next big thing.
Next big.
I think. Where were we? What were we talking about?
PAL.
Oh, PAL, right. And I was like, okay, so the universal truths. real strength is never in holding on. You can't hold on to anything in this life. You don't hold on anything. Things, if you...
Probably another call you need to take.
This one is more private.
All right, I got one for you, Matt.
Okay.
So this is from Radisat for Matt. Do you still enjoy doing your day job?
I enjoy doing my day job because I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing stuff I'm good at.
You work on the oil rig, right?
Yeah, not on the rigs anymore. Like I'm going out to drilling rigs. I don't specifically work on just the drilling rig, but I run downhole tools on the drilling side.
Okay.
So it'll be selective open hole packers, cement retainers, stage tools, liner hangers, stuff like that. So
what's like an average day look like?
Well, it all depends because there's so many different variants, right? So average day on a regular install for a job would be getting a phone call, loading up my truck, heading out to location, going over anywhere from 40 to 80 tools, doing a spacing everything out in the well where they want everything, on what tool they want, what spots, standing out on the rig floor, picking everything up and putting in the hole. And then once we get on depth, function all my tools, set everything, cement it, do whatever we're doing. If we're running a stage tool at that point, a liner hanger, something like that. And then come off header home. Days range from time-wise anywhere from 12 hours to sometimes 36-hour shifts.
Like long days then.
Yeah, they could be really long days, right?
Do you work like regular, like, Monday to Friday sort of deal?
No,
or just whenever?
no, I'm on call.
Yeah.
So like I get an 18 and 6 schedule. 18 days I'm scheduled to work, 6 days I have off. And then depending on how busy we are, what we got for work coming up, on how much I actually work during them 18 days. And usually it'll be like I'll be gone for 2 or 3 days, home for 3-4 days, gone for 2-3 days, home for a day or two, gone for 2-3 days. So
is that like in the oil sands?
No, that's not oil sands. It's more on the drilling side. Oil sands they're pretty much just digging a big pit, right? It's like
the difference is totally.
It's like an open pit mine as opposed to a mine shaft, right? Oil sands, they're digging the sand out, they're heating the oil and everything up out of it, processing, filtering everything out, and then carrying on. Oil on the drilling side, you're actually drilling a hole 2, 3, 4,000 meters deep, wherever deep they're going, and then
how big's the drill?
It depends. Like you usually start off tapering the size of the wells, right? So you start off with your surface casing anywhere from 8 3/4 to a 12 1/4 inch bit, and then drill that first hole, run your casing cementer off. Then you got an intermediate. Sometimes if they're putting in the ground, if not, and they're drilling a monobore, then they'll go right to their 159 mil hole, get down to the 90 degrees, then kick out for another 1,000, 2,000 meters.
It's like he's trying to speak English to us.
I'm trying to simplify it as best as I can.
Hey, listen, this is me saying how dumb I am. This is
so.
Not
And you wouldn't really understand unless you actually
you're a specialist. This is your
partaked in the industry, right? So it's tough physically, mentally demanding job, right? So
you're saying that you drill down and there's like a 90-degree.
Yeah, so like wells that are getting drilled nowadays, not like the olden days where you just punch a hole straight down because you can only produce from that one area you drill a well. You're like the earth is in layers, crusts that you've learned in school, and in them different crusts over time with the glaciers and everything have come. Say there was an old underwater seabed or a bunch of seaweed or a rainforest under where they got folded in them crusts, and once it decomposed and everything else and it's turned into oil, you got that one crust that's anywhere from 1.5 meters to 4, 5, 6 meters thick, where it has all your oil in it.
Okay.
So, and what everybody's doing with the technology that we've come up with in our company and the entrepreneurs of it is everybody's fracking wells nowadays. So if you're fracking a well, and picture there's 2 types of formation. You got one that has good porosity, that is like beach sand, and you got other one that doesn't have good porosity. It's like concrete. This concrete is still saturated with oil, just like the beach sand is saturated with
porosity
oil.
Mean?
Porosity is, I'm going to get to that, right?
Oh, okay.
So good porosity would be, say, beach sand, where if you take a cup of water and I pour it onto the sand, it soaks into it so it can flow through the sand.
Okay.
Concrete doesn't have good porosity, but it's got a shit ton of fucking oil into it. And the only way to get that oil out is you got to create porosity into your formation. So they'll literally, what they do nowadays is they fracture or they frack the formation. So they pump into the formation will open up and they'll frack into it. Formation opens up, they pump sand into it. Then when they stop pumping, the formation closes. You've got all that sand trapped in between them cracks. Now you got somewhere for the oil and the gas to flow through. Right.
Interesting.
So they'll actually drill down to the target zone. When they land into the target zone, they'll be at 90 degrees. And then we'll go straight out 1,000 to sometimes 3,000-4,000 meters. Right.
So how do they know how deep they have to go?
They have directional tools and everything else. They've drilled so many other wells and everything in the area. There's seismic that's told them. You got geologists on location that can tell with the different crusts and everything else that they're coming into or what they're seeing for samples back, what formations they're starting to come into, right? So there's I can go on for it about hours, right? But it's...
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's interesting, right? Like, I don't know anything about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I picture is just somebody digging a hole and the oil comes out. People start dancing in it.
No, it's nothing like that. Yeah. No, nothing like that at all.
So do you guys ever see the oil spray out, or do you guys have it capped?
That's why you have your well control. You drill your surface and everything first. So if you ever take on a kick or an influx of gas or whatever into that well bore, you're able to shut it in, divert the flow so you can separate your gas from your fluids and carry on, right?
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's the most I've ever heard about oil drilling before.
Yeah, there's I'm just trying to simplify the hell. I'm trying to think on how
Thanks,
to
Matt.
word
We
it to
appreciate
simplify
that.
it,
Those
right?
simple folk over here.
Oh, but
So like an average drill you guys do. You usually do it like a day, or does it take a couple of days?
well, like it depends on the depth, depends on the formation, depends on the area, depends. Like there's so many different variants, right? Depends on what kind of bit they use. There's so many things, right? So it's like I come on usually onto the well when the hole's already done being drilled and they're going to be stuffing all their production casing into the ground, right?
Yeah.
That's when I show up. So like I used to for 10, 12 years, I was on the drilling side where I actually drilled the wells. Like I was a driller, relief push, roughneck, did all that stuff, right? So
you've been doing that for how long now, I guess?
since 2000.
Like
21 years.
21 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Powerful.
Yeah.
So you still enjoy it though, I guess.
I enjoy it because I'm good at it.
Yeah.
I like this reiteration. I enjoy what I'm good at. I enjoy what I'm good at.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself retiring soon then, or you're just gonna
No, fuck. I don't see myself retiring for at least 10 years.
10 years?
10, 15 years. I got a Freedom 55 plan, but
Oh, there you go.
we'll see, right? It used to be a Freedom 50. Now it's a Freedom 55. So,
They just keep pushing it.
Yeah.
Keep pushing it.
so
Because I think they introduced something recently that I think they cap it. They cap some retirement plans capped at 60 now or something. So it's like if you cash out at 55, you don't get everything.
yeah, you
And
get taxed on it until
Yeah,
you hit, depends on what kind of retirement or pension plan or whatever it is that you're into, right?
Yeah.
So like I've got money put away into a pension plan that I was with when I was precision drilling, and if I touch any of it before I'm 55, I get taxed significantly on it, right?
Yeah.
So
Retirement's fun.
yep.
Hey, Devon?
Oh my god.
Something you want to say, Dev?
Lucky guy.
Yeah? Okay.
Lucky guy. No.
Got it.
Can't talk about it.
Good times. Good
Yeah.
times, yeah. Well, our plans have changed for Friday.
Okay.
Saturday, maybe.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, if that phone call would be a good
I didn't know
plan.
what our plans
A
were
good
for
change of
Friday or
plan.
Saturday yet. Anyways,
I'm just
so
rolling.
It's a good change.
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah.
I'm leaving everything in your hands. You just tell me where and when to show up.
After the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marvin wants to do like some.
Oh, I think my phone's ring. Oh, no,
It's me, man.
nobody's
Yeah.
calling me. Nobody's calling me.
You know, I tell you. I should just turn this thing off. It's...
Can't have more good news than that tonight.
Oh, wait a second. No.
Nah.
It's your mother.
Yeah.
Good news.
Take out
So,
sushi.
so I got another one for you, Matt.
Okay.
This is from Significant Walrus 33.
That is
Nice.
a great handle. May I
This
just
is-
say.
First, he says, "Say hi to Matt for me."
Hey,
see-
significant walrus 33.
He seems like a cool dude outside of the match, enjoying his channel. He says. He's got a bunch of questions. I can't go through all of them, but
You picked the most relevant one.
yeah. So he says, where do you see arm wrestling as a sport going in the future?
I see it nothing but up. Honestly, I feel just the amount of awareness and the amount of traction and the amount of views and everything else that it's gotten even over the last 5 years is something else. Like you yourself, I'm sure you probably never really got recognized much 4 or 5 years ago. Out walking around.
Not in Canada.
Not in Canada. Maybe the odd place in the States or in Europe or something like that. But other than that, nobody really knew who the fuck you were. Now,
He doesn't go
it's
to
a
Costco
different story,
anymore.
right? Like even myself, I'll be out in the field doing my job sometimes, and like half the guys that I work with, or I'm always consistently on the same rigs lots of the times, and a lot of them will know that I'm an arm wrestler, and the word travels around, and like people, oh, how's it going? Hey, blah blah blah. And, do you know Devon Larratt? And like people,
That's gotta make you happy, right?
people know. Oh, I'm happy to tell them that I do. Right? Actually, we're pretty good. I was just talking to him last week. You know. So yeah, and I'll pull up some of the dick pics that you send or that you get. Right.
I sent you some good ones over the years. I'm getting good with Photoshop, so my angles are.
Just got to clean the lens.
Oh, but
Gotta clean the lens.
Actually, you know, I think a lot of people have those pictures now.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures out there.
So I say, I think, especially I think we've taken a little bit of a dip because of this COVID and everything else. But I also think at the same time, we've also got a little bit of a hype in a lot of other ways, because like we were talking about earlier today with WL, when they were doing their thing, PAL, none of us did any of our own production. We let WL take care of all our own production, everything else. With COVID and us actually still wanting to be able to be out there, be heard and be seen, doing our own YouTube channels and everything else, taking our own production, people are getting to see a completely different side of the arm wrestlers and what they're like in real life, as opposed to not just how we are on the table.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I think we're honestly just at the beginning of the traction on what the sport is getting, especially like you got people like Jumafu, you got people like Larry Wheels that have millions of followers watching their channels that are taking a liking to the sport, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah.
So, and as more people find out about it and what's actually involved in the sport, I think you're going to create so many more people, because there's 90% or more of the population out there still don't even realize what the fuck arm wrestling is. So,
yeah, and I think we're kind of an interesting time too, because a lot of the top level athletes are very accessible right now, right?
Yep.
So like, you guys aren't at the point where you get like 1 trillion comments. So you guys still have time to like look through them yourself, and you're not paying other people to do it. So you actually get to respond to like fans and
because we can't afford to pay somebody else,
Well, yeah.
right?
But if you look at like there's certain sports like basketball, for example, right? Like those guys, they probably don't manage their own Twitter feeds.
No.
And if they do have YouTube channels, it's like a high production thing, and like the athletes themselves in that case, or even like celebrities,
They're
right?
not even touching it. They're just being
Yeah.
told where and when to show up.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Whereas you guys are kind of in a space where you're actually using the tools kind of how they're intended to be used.
I think
right?
you're getting more of an in-touch personal side of the actual professional arm wrestlers in the sport that we're in, as opposed to if we were on a higher level than what we were at right now.
Yeah.
So
what kind of benefits me, I guess, right? If you guys are making trillions of dollars, you wouldn't come in my basement, right?
yeah. So
But what a way to grow the sport organically from the basement up, so that when you have your fans that go along with it, like they're part of that process, and they're part of genuinely and so they have this loyalty and this commitment to these competitors and
It's so cool.
these athletes and this sport, and the pride that comes
like
with being part
I
of the
know
growth of it.
myself, like even like when I was really getting into arm wrestling and I was watching like Arm TV when he used to do it back in the day, and just seeing the odd behind the scenes interviews and stuff like that, I almost felt like I personally knew some people myself more just because of watching the videos. It felt like I actually knew them. Like I remember the first time I had actually seen Marcio Barbosa at a tournament before, and I was in Vegas when the whole Marvin Cohen thing event got canceled and UAL took over. And I walked into the bathroom and Marcio was probably about 30 pounds heavier, a little more out of shape than a guy I had seen him in a long time. Because I remember seeing him chiseled, look like a Greek fucking god in all his YouTube videos and everything else. And because I'd seen so many videos, it felt like I knew him. Yeah. And I was fairly outspoken. I seen him in the bathroom and at first like, holy shit, have you ever gotten fat? And he kind of fucking looked at me. He gave me a look like, who the fuck are you? And why? Like, what gives you the right to just say that to me? And it was, oh shit, sorry, I thought we knew each other better than that, right? Because I had seen so many videos and after pool matches and interviews and stuff like that, like it felt like I had known him and like I was okay to say that to him, right?
Yeah.
So
people are probably going to start saying that to me.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure you're going to
I've been saying it to you for the last 3 months.
I'm saying people who don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But they think they do.
Well, and it's true, right? So,
Yeah.
because just with I think how we're promoting it ourselves, people are actually starting to get to see a little bit more on the personal side. Like you're not ever going to see this side of professional athletes in Major League Baseball or NBA or anything like that. You'll see little clips here and there, but you're not actually going to see the amount of content and personal life on how they actually really are like you will with the sport of arm wrestling. So
if I may, something that's really interesting that kind of speaks to that from my perspective is that the fans of the sport of arm wrestling are extreme in one way or the other. There's really no, and that's, I mean, that's awesome, right? That's
Desperation.
great.
Tokyo.
But there's, it always makes us question sort of like lives of actual celebrities, no offense. And, like what they live with and
actual celebrities, not pretend celebrities like you, Devon.
Let's say Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie walking down the street. When's the last time they could just do that, right?
Who the fuck's Brad Pitt?
Right?
I'd never heard of him.
So the fans of arm wrestling are like, they are hardcore one way or another. They really either love or hate you. Like, there's like no middle ground that I've seen when it comes to that. So there's just these people are incredibly passionate one way or another. And it's not like, I don't know, you can like stuff. There's, just regular people, we like things, we're interested in things. But for the most part, from my personal perspective, fans of arm wrestling, they're hardcore one way or another. There's really either a love or a hate, and there's nothing in between. And it's a very passionate driving force of these humans that are in this sport, in this industry, and how it grows. It's really influenced, I think, heavily by the people who stand behind them or really, really, really far against them.
Well, thank you for finishing answering my question for me, Jodi.
Did I finish it? I'm so used to having to try to speak over other people.
No, it's all right.
I feel like I've lost my power position.
You took a call.
In the middle, and now I'm like, can you even hear me? Can you even hear me on this thing?
When did you get back into the room, Devon?
It's like I'm just gonna mute that mic over there. Yeah, no, but I think there's a lot of relations to how the fans are now in arm wrestling to how they were for mixed martial arts like 10-15 years ago. Because I know now that I've talked to a couple of my friends, some of the troll army guys, they're old MMA guys that used to hang out on the old underground forum and stuff. Yeah.
That's fun.
So I think some of the fans are the same, but it's the same kind of fandom that like early day UFC, like how crazy guys were. You're starting to see that now with arm wrestling. So like I'm totally new to arm wrestling, so I don't know how it was before. But
It's really changed.
I just feel like it's a driving force, really.
I feel like I'm very connected to the social media side of the sport. Like I think that I'm probably as connected as any athlete when it comes to the social side, and I feel like we've had like a few big bursts. And even if you look at the last 10 years, I feel like Game of Arms was a significant boost for us. Like when it comes to the gathering of fans to the sport of arm wrestling. Game of Arms was big the inception of the World Arm Wrestling League was big. And the crazy thing is what is just as big as the inception of the WAL League is the failing of the WAL League. It's like those two. It's like when the WAL took off, it was one thing. And then when it failed, it like opened up all these avenues for self-promotion. But the last year has been the craziest year of all. Like when it comes to the fans of arm wrestling. Like I think COVID made people consume more media than they've ever consumed. And I think that when people just start clicking at night and eventually find themselves in arm wrestling, that they're exposed to it and there's enough good stuff out there that people get hooked.
Yeah.
And even the last 2 months, like the troll army has been really created in the last 2 months.
Huh.
And now, like, when you look at like social media, like it's gone insane. Like over the last 2 months, you can't read a comment thread on any arm wrestling video or any even picture that an arm wrestler posts and not have like a ton of people who are extremely educated give all sorts of humorous banter. Like it's really wild now.
And there's some legends have been born, right?
Yeah.
Get like, what is it? The Devon Saplenkoff.
Yeah, Devon Saplenkoff is one of the originals.
He's the OG.
It was like 3 days of Joan. Listen, look at this one. Look at this one. This one's Devon pancakes or whatever. Like I'm sorry, but like it was insane. It was this massive burst. And that's how it's like evolution, right? You have this going steady thing, and then there's a mutation, and it pops, and things just grow from there.
It's that there's enough content being produced now. Like when you go across all the different arm wrestlers and all the different channels, there's enough content producers that the trolls have like a steady food supply. Like Bowen himself is enough to fuel the troll army.
Food supply.
Like there's like I don't know how many Bowen trolls there are.
There's a lot.
I think I've seen like 20.
Yeah, I think Hermes has got a lot. Bowen's got a lot. And then actually, Michael Todd's got a lot too.
Got a lot. Yeah.
Michael Toddler is one of my favorites.
Oh, there's some that I like the what is it, the Michael under the table, or you know what I'm saying?
Travis Pageant, actually, that's my favorite one. I think.
I don't know why
Travis
there's a Travis bag of shit yet. I bet that's just me asking that question.
There's some harsh ones.
There's some. Yeah, I'm not a Travis fan, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say that. I just was curious as to why there wasn't.
She just thinks he's a piece of shit.
One of those. Travis and I have a long history.
Good times. Good times. So I got one. Well, I guess both of you guys answer this one, but this one's for Matt. Like, how much? What's the most you ever benched?
What's that?
Bench press.
Bench press? Never done bench press before.
Never?
No, I don't know. I've never. I'll tell you something about my bench, and it's not a lot of weight, and I don't do it very often. But what I do is just enough so I don't look like a complete tit when I go to the beach and take my shirt off. That's about my significant for my bench press.
Like 2 plates?
2 plates for maybe 15 reps. Like,
that's decent.
That's pretty good.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's
2 plates,
great.
15 reps. That's decent.
That was probably like my best.
Yeah,
my
that's
best.
decent. Yeah.
So that was my best.
Yeah, still, that's good. No, two plates for 15. That's legit. That's a legit
I
bench.
think so. Yeah.
And I guess this is for both you guys. What's the strongest guy you guys have ever pulled?
Dennis. Dennis's left hand was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Like, the indicator Dennis was so freaky. Like, I remember, like, I've said this a lot before, but I remember looking at his arm, looking at it, like, really, like, and I'm like, it's a glute. I mean, like, his elbow to, like, upper arm is what most athletes have in their hip joint.
Yeah.
Like so insanely thickly muscled and not like bodybuilder fluff, like
like thick striations, tendons all over the place. And he let me at some point in the match, he let me get what I wanted and then just like let me get in the spot. And the even larger demonstration of strength that he did was he demonstrated pity, which was so disgusting to me.
When he let you win
When
that
he
one?
let me win around, I almost vomited all over myself. I was like, I'm so pitiful. I'm being gifted around. I'm like, oh my God, he feels so bad for me. I'm like, I feel so bad now. This is even worse. Yeah, he was so strong.
I don't know. I've never pulled anybody like Saplinkov. There's so many people are strong in so many different areas. Yeah, you actually aren't that strong. You're just very
So
crafty.
Strong.
I would say the person that I pulled that shocked me the most for how strong they were on almost every angle on the table, I would say Ron Bath.
Yeah.
I would
strong.
say he's just a natural fucking old man strength, strong everywhere. He's strong
is super
inside,
strong.
he's strong outside, he's strong in a press, he's strong in a hook. Just no matter what angle you hit at him, he's able to bang with you.
And he's an older guy
So
now, too.
he is old. Yeah.
He's super impressive.
He's like 82? 82?
But he's no Saplankov.
No. Well,
Saplinkov.
I've never pulled
Yeah.
anybody. I've never pulled Saplinkov. So
that's a different level.
Yeah.
Man.
What about Levon? You guys
Yeah,
passed him?
he's that's
I've
the
never
same
played with
kind of-
him.
I think he's the same kind of thing. Like Levon looks really Dennis, I don't know. The thing, like Levon looks to be like that, but Levon is still, I think there's just more data that needs to be fielded from him.
Yeah.
Like he needs more matches. Look, I mean, he has. It's hard to say how good he is because he's just killing everybody.
Mhm.
But
Too bad that Michael match
it's
didn't work
right.
out.
That's back on
Too
the
bad.
PAL, right? PAL trying to hold on to stuff. That's their problem. You can't hold on to anything in this life. You squeeze too tight, you just become inefficient, right? PAL's trying to hold on to their thing. If they had just accepted that match, it's just winning. It's winning everywhere. Winning for what they don't realize is that the entire field will get lifted. Their athlete will get lifted. The sport will get lifted. And the thing is they're missing an opportunity. They just missed an opportunity.
Huge.
Yeah, massive.
You know? And unquestionably, that's the match. Unquestionably. I'll be happy to take it. You know, I feel selfish for taking it in a certain way, but like, pisses me off.
Kind of along the same lines. I can't find the question now, but I saw it earlier. So Devon's got the match with Michael Todd, right? And I guess Matt, have you pulled Michael before?
Never. No.
Just in practice.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
piss around in Phoenix one day, but
So somebody was asking how you think you'd fare against Michael.
I obviously need to eat more pancakes right now, but I actually think I'd have somewhat of a decent chance against him. Just stylistically.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
I think unquestionably you control the hand.
So
Unquestionably. Like, I think that when you guys step to the table, Michael would have very little option on the go. I think that your hand is going to rip him across the table. Will it stick? You know, he's sticky.
yeah,
He's super sticky. Mike is super sticky. And it's interesting. I think if you can be aggressive enough to hit hard, realize your hand's getting taken, almost without thought, transition into a flop press,
I think that that's a really scary thing for Mike. A guy with a hand as good as you who can switch into a flop press. That's scary. And I know that because I Kings move just a little bit. And I know that that's a really dangerous thing because you can take a dude's hand, but if they can follow it up with a press very quickly, it can really screw you up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if
your King's move is slightly different than Michael's.
it is.
I think stylistically, I think I would have a fairly decent chance, especially if I was on top of my game. Do I think I deserve a chance? I don't think I'm close to deserving a chance. I think there's a lot more fish out there I need to catch and slay before, just before like you're reputable, you actually deserve, you know what I mean? A shot. Like you're not going to take someone that's 15th in UFC and give him a shot at the world champion.
Happens all the time.
It happens sometimes, but it's not, you know what I mean? So I personally don't think I've earned that opportunity yet. I want to earn that opportunity and I want to get a shot at him just to see for myself how stylistically I think I'd be able to match up with him, which I think would be all right, but I don't deserve it yet. So.
Yeah, I think deserves a strong word, right? Because at the end of the day, you've been arm wrestling for a really long time. Yeah. With a lot of top guys. And I think nowadays with combat sports, and I think arm wrestling kind of falls in the same line of how the dynamics work. It's usually not always the person that's maybe number 2 that gets a shot, but it's the person that's good enough and people see an interesting match, right? Mm-hmm. And if people can see the match being interesting, then, they'll set it up. And especially if one guy talks a lot of shit, that helps, right?
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, squeaky wheel gets the grease every time. Yeah.
You guys still got a little bit in you, or are you guys dying out a bit?
Let's go with 2 more questions.
2 more.
2 more.
My ass is getting sore.
Yeah. Trying to get massive.
Yeah. Okay, so here's one. This one's for Matt too. This is from Crimson Griffin from Reddit too. This is probably not a new thought, but I want to know if Matt Mask thinks his top roll could beat a chimp in a best set of 5. The chimp has been trained not to elbow foul or attack him, and it knows that if it pins him, it gets many bananas.
What kind of a fucking question is that?
Yes.
Arm wrestling fan.
From my experience about fucking around with chimps, I would say that their twitch reflex is not very quick, and I would think I would flash the chimp before it had a chance and it realized it was even competing for bananas. And that's my final answer.
You just kill a chimp.
I would fucking rip a chimp's arm off. Yeah. I'd make a trophy out of the chimp's arm.
I don't know anything about chimps.
Yeah. I think they're slow.
I don't know.
I think they're not quick like cheetah. No, they're out of the animal kingdom. They're definitely one of the slower.
Really?
They're definitely one of the slower ones. Yeah, they're
Pound for pound.
they're like Neanderthals.
Yeah, pound for pound they're stronger because their muscles are like directly attached to the bone.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
They're stronger, but they're not quicker. I think the strength that would slow them down a bit.
Yeah, could be. Let's set it up.
Hey,
if Hermes backs down,
you train a chimp, I'll fucking pull him.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I think it's a very good idea.
Well,
yeah, that's good for your YouTube channel.
Yeah, and it's gonna end good. Like nothing could go wrong.
No, just don't get strapped up.
We'll just keep the animal right backs of this out of it. Eh?
Oh, jeez. All right, let's see if I can get another decent one here. This one's for both of you guys. As far as like history, this is from Grunch or Gunch. Is that a word? Gunch?
Gunch.
Yeah. Which historical figure would you guys most like to arm wrestle? Like anybody in history.
Anybody in history.
Could be like Napoleon.
Jesus. Maybe Jesus.
I
jumped out at me.
Would like to arm wrestle Justin Trudeau.
He's awesome.
He's
I
would like to hit him so hard, I break his arm, and then I'd like to beat him with it. That's
the end of the podcast.
That's as far as the political statements that you're gonna see out of me.
Man, oh man. And just like that, all your subscribers are gone. YouTube has demonetized Matt Matt's channel.
I thought this part was going on your channel.
Just like Rebel News, you have been demonetized.
No, I think the third part was supposed to go on mine.
So yeah. That sucks to be you.
Yeah, we'll put the third part on Devin.
Well, that's been fun, guys.
Awesome,
good times. Yeah. Okay. Well,
anything else you guys want to touch on before we shut her down? May 28th.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
I thought it was May 29th.
No, it's 28th.
The 28th.
Yeah. There's gonna be lots to come, guys. Lots to come. We've got big plans. Some big announcements coming up.
And then Ermey's coming up. Do you guys have a date for that yet?
There might be a date.
Might be a date.
Yeah.
Can we leak a date?
Can we leak a date? Well, I'll probably announce it before then. June 6th in Istanbul.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
I don't know. I feel like
I really could care less. I'm not scared.
I know you're not scared. I just would want it to be perfect.
I know. Like physically, I'm not in the best shape I've been.
Will you be
for a very long time? But I feel 2 months. I feel 2 months from now, I've got enough time.
So you got enough, or you got perfect? Because
I got more than enough.
Perfect.
No, I got more than enough.
But what if you guys start the match and then Ermey says like, "Oh, this is just a practice run."
Well, then he knows. Then I know he's gonna beat me, right?
That's terrible.
If that's the case.
That's awesome.
Oh, I gotta eat. Priorities. Hey, thanks so much, Matthias. That was fun.
Yeah, no problem. It's been awesome, guys. Thanks for coming on.
Good times.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
just split it in this thing.
Until the next time.
I'll shut her down. Boom.